Hey guys, thanks for checking out Euclid Mining. Today I am off from work, the little guy's at school, and I'm home all alone. I wish I could find some couch time today, but unfortunately, I do not have that time. I am excited though because I'm doing some upgrades. Now, you know I've got the RTX 3060 Ti $1 million Ravencoin mining rig running, and that one I've got the 8 GPU frame. I'm also doing a build out on the RTX 3060 cards, and again I have an 8 GPU frame. I'd love to fill that all out and get that working. The problem is that when I put my 7th card on that board, I had to use a little splitter like this. And with this one, look at that, they glued the chip on crooked. With this one, I have 4 slots on here that I could put more GPUs on. So I thought, okay, I'll go ahead and just put this on there and I'll be fine. Well, I did run into some problems. I was getting some little glitches. It would stop mining. I would have to reboot it. It would work fine for a while, then I'd have another glitch. So I went ahead and I took it off that rig and I put it on a different one and I fired it up and I put all 4 GPUs on it. Excuse me, I just had a little something to eat. And it worked perfectly. I had no trouble, no glitches, no downtime, and it's still running strong. So I know that it works, but it didn't work on that board. And that's when I started thinking, it's time to upgrade. So I bought a second one of these because I thought it was the actual, the board itself maybe, and it was causing problems. So I bought a second one to test it. But all of a sudden, you know, when I put it in the other rig, it's running flawlessly. So it was this board. It didn't like it. Maybe it's just an older board and that's why it wasn't accepting it. So that being said, I decided to go with some hardware that's going to be more than capable of handling anything I throw at it. So let's get right on to here. So here's the board that I bought. I bought the Z590V. As a matter of fact, because I'm doing both rigs, I got 2 of them. So we've got 2 rigs to do and we've got both motherboards. Now we're going to talk about the RAM. Why not? So I've got this here, the Corsair. Let's see if that'll zoom in or focus. God forbid. This is the 3200 megahertz DDR4. It has 2 8 gigabyte sticks. And again, you're going to say, you only need 4 gigs to mine on, but we're going to get to that in a second. Also, I got 2 chips. I got the same one. And let's see if we can zoom in here. So this is the G6400 Pentium Gold. And again, a little more power than I needed, but here's what I wanted to tell you about. And this is the point of all of this, is that I wanted to make sure that the parts that I'm using are more than capable of handling anything I throw at it. You know, y'all want to see more videos. You want me to do videos on overclocking, undervolting, trying different pools, trying different, mining software, NB Miner or T-Rex or Team Red Miner, LOL Miner, and so on. I want to use Hive. I want to use Windows. I want to be able to move between different systems and different software and not have to worry that any of this is the problem. I bought this all brand new because, again, I wanted to make sure I had, new and trouble-free hardware. When I did my first build out, I bought a board, chip, and RAM all came together as one piece on eBay, and I got it for pretty cheap back when I started because I just needed something, and I didn't know exactly what kind of board, chip, and RAM and everything I needed. So I bought a lot of stuff, already combined together that people were selling used because I didn't know better and I didn't know what to do. So I just wanted to get up and running. And the same for you. If that's what you got to do to get up and running, do what you got to do to get up and running. The sooner you get up and running, the sooner you can start making money, and the sooner you can start turning that money that you're making back into your investment and upgrading. For now, you just got to get up and running. And for me, I've gotten to the point where I could finally start buying some really decent stuff, and that's why I bought what I have. Now, these are going to be really great, and I am super excited to get this all installed. I want to talk to you about this board. So this board has 6 slots, and it also has the M.2 slots on it as well. So with this one has 5 slots on it, and it has 3 M.2 slots built onto the board. So what are the M.2? We'll get there in a second. But the point is that I wanted to have 8 slots available for 8 GPU. I didn't want to have to rely on something like this, and I wanted the board to be able to support what I wanted it to support by itself. Down the road, if I want to, put something else, I could, but obviously I won't have any more room on that frame, so I won't need to. Now, what is the M.2? So the M.2, there are a few attachments you can get. One of them is this one. This one, you put this on the board, sticks in like that, and then you screw it down with the little screw here. You put and then it has a USB, and you can add another GPU onto this. Now this board has 3 of those slots, so with the 5 slots built on and the 3 M.2, that's my 8. That should get me where I want to be. There is another version of this, and I'm going to go ahead and hop over here, and this is it here. So it has a slot built right onto its chipset, and it has, onto the printed circuit board, and it has a secondary power as well. Now this one does not have that slot, and it doesn't have any power. So with there being 3 slots on this board for the M.2, we're going to put 2 of one kind and 1 of the other, and we're going to test them out and see which one works best. And then whichever one works best, I will probably just order more of that one. I don't know if we'll get to that testing phase in this video. I think I'm just going to be trying to get up and running, and then in another video I will be doing more in depth with these components and seeing which one works better, if they work at all, and we'll see. But that's what this will be, and I am super excited. I've never used these before. This will be my first time, so I am hoping that this goes real smooth and I have no problems. So anyway, we are going to go ahead and clear off my desk. I'm going to take all this stuff off of here. I'm going to bring the Ravencoin mining rig over here. Don't forget, there's going to be links in the description below if you want to see the videos for those 2 rig build outs. I also want to say thank you to everybody. We are so close to 100 subscribers. I know that other channels have thousands and thousands and tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I'm just grateful for the ones that I have right here on my channel. And I just want to say thank you again. When I hit 100, I'll probably do a little video and thank you again, but it means a lot. It means a lot that there's, almost 100 people out there on the planet that think I'm interesting enough to watch. So super cool, and I appreciate that. I'm trying to build the channel so I could use all the thumbs up I can get. And of course, if you have any questions or comments or anything, drop them in the link in the description below, and let me see what you're talking about. I'd love to see what you're using, what kind of board and chip and RAM. Did you go a little overboard like I did, or are you considering this your standard? I would love to know what you're doing as well, and if there's anything that you want me to test or try, again, drop it in the comments below, and I'll see what I could do about putting some videos together for you, and we'll try to get things solved if there's any questions. So anyway, I'm going to clean this all off, and I'll be back in just a few minutes, and we will get that rig starting to build it out. I'll see you in a minute. All right, y'all, we are back, and I've got the board out. Got the slot open. I've got my chip here. Got the fan over here, and we're going to go ahead and install this. So let's just go ahead and take the chip out. You don't want to be touching any of this. You want to make sure your hands are clean. And when you look at this chip, you can see that there are little notches on the sides, here and here. So I don't know if you really see that, but there's little notches on there. And if you look really closely at the board where the chip goes, there are 2 little spots where they do have little notches there that kind of stick out. So you really only can go on here one way, and they do that so you don't, screw it up royally. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this down on like that. And yeah, on the board itself, there's a little bump out on both sides of the actual where the chip seats, and on the chip itself, on its board, it's got a little cutout on each side. So like I said, if you put this in a different way, it wouldn't sit flat in there. It wouldn't stay. So anyway, that's basically it. You get the chip in there, you drop it down nice, and the less you touch it, the less you mess with it, the better off you are. So then we'll go ahead and close that, and we will go ahead and lock this down. And when you lock it down, this will pop off now, and you can lock it in. The chip is in. That's it. That's pretty much all that really needed to be done. So we're done there. Now for the fan. Now the fan, you're going to want to have some thermal paste put on the fan or on the chip, so it helps transfer the heat from the chip to the fan more efficiently. Now when you buy a brand new one, it will come with the thermal paste already on it. As you can see here, it does have it on there. So that is a bonus. So you don't need to get any extra thermal paste. But what we will do is undo this wire a little bit without touching anything. So they've got the wire tucked inside of here for the power. And we want to go ahead and get that out. There we go. Now we got a little room to plug that in. So I'm just going to look to see where the fan connection is. And let's see if it's on this side. Yeah, so it says it right here on the board, CPU fan. So that's where this wire is going to go. So I'm going to just kind of see how that fits. So yeah, if I have that just like that, I can fit that plug right on this side. And it'll have less wire dangling out here. It'll be nice and tight, real snug, and that's it. You know, less mess on the board. If you're that OCD person, you know, you'll appreciate that. So anyway, the goes right on top. There's 4 holes here on the board, and obviously we got our 4 legs, and they'll go right through there. And then there's these clips that turn, and that'll lock it into place. So we're going to go ahead and drop those right on there. That's basically it. Now we're going to go ahead and just press these down and then lock these in. So this one leg is giving me a little trouble. Let's see. All right. So there it is. So that locked down. So that's awesome. And now we're going to take our fan and let's see which side it goes on. We're going to go ahead and slide that right there. Let's see if I got enough. Yep. So there it is. So the fan's in there, real nice and secure. It means we're going to have good transfer for that heat. Our CPU, we don't want that to overheat. We can go ahead and save that. I recommend saving that. You know, I don't know. I always save mine. I don't know if I've ever really needed it again, but I just keep saving it every time I've done a build. Now, so we've got that set up. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go for the RAM, and we're going to go ahead and put that in. I've already taken one stick out, so we've got that. Now, when we look at the board, we can look and see which slot we are going to use, and if we're not sure, we can always check the manual, which I am going to do to make sure I am going into the right one. Now here it is. It usually has it printed on here, so I am going to go into this slot here, and we'll open that up. Okay, and that's locked in. So that's most of the battle right there. I got to tell you, getting that set up. Now, I will say I really do want to get this new connection hooked up. So we are going to use this one. I'm not a fan of having the extra power. I know it will help give the power that the riser will need for this, but I hate having extra power wires and things all over the board. But you know what? If it means getting to where I want to be and getting that 7th and 8th GPU on here, then so be it. You know, we're going to do it. So it came with a little screw, and it also came with a little screwdriver, little Phillips head. So we will take this, and let me show you the board actually really quick. Let's see. So I don't want to grab this in the wrong spots. So this is the slot here, and this is the other slot right there. So if you can see that, that's not focusing very well. There are the two slots here and here. So we are going to go ahead and drop this one in. So we're going to go ahead and put it in right like that. Goes in on a little bit of an angle, and then you just hold it down and you get your little screw. All right, that's it. That's all it is. Now you want to tighten that screw down so it's snug, but you never want to tighten any screw where you tighten it and then go for that extra hit. You know, you have a chance to damage your board, crack your board, and you know how fragile these things can be. So things go downhill pretty quick when you start, you know, cracking any printed circuit board. So I'm just going to open this one up. And here we are again. That's how it came. It came in two pieces, and then I just went ahead and earlier I had already plugged this in. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this one in. There we go. So that is plugged in there, nice and snug. And same thing again. So I've got my screw. It came with another Phillips head. I mean, there must be a factory that just makes these little Phillips heads, because if one comes with every single one of these, my God, all right, well, whatever. It's cool. I can dig it. And we're going to go ahead and put this one in there. And again, it just goes right in, nice and soft, gingerly. Don't want to bash that thing in there. And then we're going to get our screw. And that's it. And again, just make sure it's snug. That's all you really need to do. I'm going to take all this. I'm going to throw it in one of these bags. I'll save the screwdriver. You know, obviously use it for something. Now the funny thing is that I've ordered more ones with the USB, and in the picture of those coming also are more of these. So if anybody needs, then depending on which one of these I decide to go with, I'm going to order 2 more of that particular one. So that means I'll have more of these. So if anybody is looking for little mini screwdrivers, I may have a little store opening up soon, and you'll be in business. The market will be open. So I'm just going to put those down there. I've got the RAM done, so I don't need the extra stick for now. We're going to get back to that one. But overall, there we are. The board is pretty much set to go. So the next thing we're going to start working on is some wires. let's go ahead and, well, actually, let's go ahead and get this mounted onto the frame. So I'm going to move this over here for now. And I'm going to bring up the frame. There. So this is the other board that was there. Now, if you saw me with my very first rig build that I did buy a new board, new RAM, new CPU, the whole thing, and I did that build. I was super happy about that. That was the very first one I'd ever done. After that, though, I started looking more into boards, and I found this one somebody was selling with the CPU, the RAM, the fan, the whole setup. And I forget what he was selling it for, but it was at a reasonable price about a year ago, maybe 3/4 of a year ago, and I bought it. Now when I look for this particular board online, it is expensive. I'll tell you, this one is still rated one of the better ones to use, but I'm looking for something a little more modern that I can make sure is going to handle my 8 GPU. This one doesn't have the M.2 slots. This new one does. That's why I'm going in the direction I'm going. But I am going to save this board, and I believe this is the one I'm going to use in my test rig. I did order a 6 GPU frame, and that'll be coming, and once that comes, I'll be putting this one in it. If you want to see this one here, this is the H81 Pro. So this one does have the onboard video. So if you are having trouble with your cards, you can go onto the onboard video and plug in here. And I was having trouble with BIOS and flashing and things, and they said if you ever had trouble and you weren't able to access it, you could still access it from the onboard video, and then being able to boot the computer up, and then being able to get to the card that way. So that was interesting to me. I never really needed to use that, but I liked having the ability to do something. It also has 4 gigs of RAM, and that's about all I could say about this one. But it has it served its purpose for this past almost year, and I've been grateful for this board and for the price that I paid. So very good. So we are going to take this guy, and we're just going to go ahead and move him down there. Now for the rig and the frame, let me go ahead and zoom out so you can see a little better of what I'm doing. Did I do that wrong? This one. Which one? That one. All right. So there. Oh, look at that. Whoa, now I'm zoomed in. Look at my mouth speaking to you. Let's swap back over to that one. All right, y'all, I know I've got a lot of videos out there. Please, I'm still learning like every day. All right, so bear with me. All right, so I've dusted this thing off. It was a little dusty. Since it's been in the grow tent, I haven't taken it out to clean it. And, I did buy this blower, and I'm going to do a review on that because I used it to clean my ASICs, and I loved it. What I did was I took the screws off the side here so I could take this bar out. Gives me a little more access in here. I don't have to worry about trying to get, straight up and in and have any problems. So let's go ahead and put this board in here and see if these little spacers here line up with this board, or maybe I'm going to have to add a couple more. So let's see here. So the back will be here. Right? Yes. No. Yes. So let's see. So yes. Yes, 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 and yes. Oh, okay. Everything lines up perfectly, actually. I've got everything in there and everything looks great. So we are just going to go over here and collect the screws, and we're going to start putting this thing down on the frame. Again, I just kind of spin the screwdriver until it just kind of clicks. like it's not catching anymore. I don't push down and drive it in. There's no need to do that. It's down enough. It's not like I'm taking this thing off-roading and it's going to be in the back seat of the car and it's going to need to be, you know, crazy bolted down or anything. It's going to be sitting in a grow tent, and that's all it's going to do. Like a magician I once knew said, it's like Gwendolyn. She just sits there. So let's go ahead and get that one. Okay. One more I can screw down. I think I could use one more screw. I don't know if I have a backup in here. I think I do, and I do. So we'll take that last one. Drop it there. So we are in pretty good shape. We got the chip, got the M.2 installed, the RAM, the board is mounted down. Everything's looking really good. I got to tell you the truth. We're moving right along. So what we're going to do next is we are going to talk about power now. So if you've watched my other videos, you know that I love the HP power supplies. I've got two 1200 watt power supplies for this rig. So they are going to sit here and here. The breakout boards that I use, I've got two of them. Here they are here. I left all the wires connected. Didn't need to undo those. So let's get our wires just a little more straightened out. So we've got those ready to go, and this breakout board will connect here. And this breakout board will connect over here. So they just go into the slot. And I will say that for that last rig that we just took apart, I wasn't able to get the secondary power to work properly on the board, so I did have another RTX power supply. This time though, I believe the way that I have this board, it's going to be set up, it's going to work out just fine. So I am not worried about that. What we have here, I'll give you a quick rundown on the parts for this. Let's see, where does this go? This goes this way. All right, so what it has, first off, it has this wire here. This wire jumps both boards together so that when I press the power on this board, it turns them both on. And when I hit the power again, it turns them both off. Same thing on this board. If I turn the power on here, it turns them both on. If I hit the power again, it turns them both off. So that links it together. Each one of these boards has two of these connectors. So if I wanted to add a third one, I can plug it into this board on this side and chain it to another breakout board connected to a power supply. So if I wanted to add even more, I could. And you can chain as many of these together as you want to make a rig build as big as you want or as much power as you need. Now these do run at 800 watts if you use them in a regular 120 in your regular outlet, like in your house, that, like, say, this computer's plugged into. Now if you do have a 220 outlet, I'm sorry, 240, 240. You can plug this in, and then yeah, the 120 and the 240. If you plug this into the 240, this will go up from 800 watts. It'll make it to the 1200 watts. If you don't plug it into that higher voltage for that outlet, it will only get 800 each, which is still 1600, which is, you know, a reasonable number. But up here in the mining exercise, you know, room cave, you know that I had that wire brought up here from downstairs, and I've got that 30 amp up here. So I am able to plug in whatever I really want up here as far as for the size that I'm working with. This is, you know, if I have 2 or 3 in there, I am more than covered for the amount that I'm going to need. I still have room to, you know, really plenty of room to grow. Probably could double the amount that I have in there right now, and then I'll start to worry about power. But I'm a little ways off from doubling everything that I have right now. So what I have right now is more than enough for power. So I'm happy with it. And these two now will produce 1200 watts each. So I have a total of 2400 watts. So I'm not going to worry about that. Again, overkill, yes. Do I need that much? No. But like the board, like the chip, like the RAM, like the power supplies, check, 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 check. I'm not going to worry about them. Now, of course, if I had some issues, I would always want to revisit each component and make sure that it's working, you know, and functioning properly. But as far as the first glance, you know, these are all more than what I really need, and will, you know, really just take me wherever I need to go. So anyway, that's what this wire is here. It connects them both together. The next one we're going to talk about is for power. And let's untangle some of these. So what we have here is the 2 power. Now, if you've seen my video on the parallel miner, that I did a video on them, because again, I'm not affiliated with them. I don't have an affiliate link or anything like that. I would love to get one, but for now, all I do is just tell you about the places that I buy my equipment, and I love them. I think that the power supplies they have, which they're almost always sold out of now because they just went crazy, but the power supplies, the breakout boards, now they have the breakout boards with the ATX power support, and you don't need to have an actual ATX power supply anymore. You can plug your GPUs into these breakout boards like this one, and then with this one over here, it has the ATX support. It's the bigger board. This board is like $30 or $25. This board is $75 to $85, depending on which model you get. But that's also because it has the ATX support, and it comes with all the wires. So what it has is it has the ATX connection for your motherboard that you're all familiar with. And then, of course, it has the secondary power supply, so it can take care of that as well. So we're going to go ahead and drop this one in first over here, feed that wire through, and we will plug this in. Now it does split, so you can split this one. It's 2 4-pins, but we're going to keep it together, and we're going to go right over here. And make sure both sides are clicked in. Every time I plug a wire in, I look around the seam of the connection to make sure it is matched. You know, it is directly. It's not, you know, up a little bit. I want to make sure it wasn't. This one, when I put it in, because it's 2 wires and they become as one. When I put it in, half of it went in, but the other side didn't click in. Now, God forbid I turn the board on and any power arced between those connections. It could burn out the board. Here, it could burn out the breakout board. It could do a lot of damage really quick. So I looked at that, I double checked it, and I noticed, and I just now pushed it back in, as you saw, and I heard it click. When I am done plugging all of this together, we're going to go back and check. And then I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to check again. I just can't imagine ever turning something on and not having something plugged in that tight. I did that once when I first started, and I saw it, and I shut it down immediately. I reconnected it, and I prayed that it didn't blow out my GPU and there wasn't a problem, the power wasn't connected down tight enough. Thank God it was. And I dodged a real bullet, because my, mining career might have been over, right there, to be honest with you, because I would have lost my very first GPU, and I had spent most of my money getting started up, because I really didn't have a lot then to get into this. I did it on shoestring, and that was it. So please check everything, and we're going to double check everything on this side. I'm going to spin it around. We're going to look at those same connections and just make sure everything is snug. So here we go with the ATX power. Guys, I'm just making sure there's no other spot to put a screw down here. I always hate this part when I'm putting the ATX part in, because a lot of times they don't have one of the little stands, and it's very flexible at this point. I wish I had 2 screws on either side with little, the spacers, so that it would give more support when I press down at this point. I hate this. I feel like I'm putting that tension on the board when I put this down, but there is none, so I am going to go for it. And there it is. It is clicked in. It looks good on this side. Again, when I spin this around, I'll look at the connection on that side as well, just to make sure it's all down nice and snug. So what do we have? We've got power, secondary power. We've got a connection here. Give me a second to get that secondary wire. Guys, I'm going to pause this for a second so you don't have to watch me digging around for some wires. But there is one more wire I'm going to need for... No, I guess I don't. I guess I have one right here. So I am not going to be hooking up a hard drive. So on the board, there is another connection on this where you can plug in for a hard drive and such. I do have that hooked up. I'm not going to really need that, so we can skip that part. But what I am going to need to connect these and give these power. So I am going to pause the video. I'm going to hit the bins over here. I'm going to grab the wires I need, and then I'll explain those wires I'm using and how they work with the breakout board, so you can better understand that as well. So I'll be right back. Give me a second. All right, I'm back, and I'm going to show you some other wires I have now. So these connections right here, they are the Molex, and you can buy these on Parallel Miner as well. They work with the breakout board. It's got the 6-pin on one side, which just simply plugs right into the breakout board, and on the other side has a Molex connector. Those are for the secondary power that are on the motherboard. I can use that for secondary power to anything, really. So what we can do is we can go ahead and connect this to here. Okay, so I'll make sure all that lines up nice and perfect. Okay, and this is what I was talking about. So there's just going to be a lot of extra wires in here. I'm not a super fan of that. I'll have to do some cable management once I get all of this locked down. I'm going to want to go ahead and get some zip ties and probably put it along the back and take care of that. For now, it is what it is. We'll just have to deal with it, you know. So we will take this one, and I guess I'll come around from this side, and I will put that one right here. And then we will take the other one. Now, this is something else that I could do, and I'm just going to plug this in so I could show you the other option. I'm not sure exactly how much power these need, so I want to have a dedicated wire for each one. Now, if I wanted to, I could plug into here and then have this splitter, you know. So I could do that and then have a splitter and have them both go here. But I've never used these before, so until I've figured out exactly how much power they're going to need, I'm going to give them all the power they want, and then that way I won't be holding them back and maybe not giving them enough power, which of course you know that if you're starving your cards for power when they're plugged in, that could cause damage, just like maybe starving these for power could damage them as well. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to test it. I don't want to try it. So we will do some more research a little later on. And there we go. So that one is in as well. So like I said, later on I'll probably pull these back nice, and I'll do some sort of cable management with that. But for now, these wires are good. These are 4 for the GPU. I've got 1, 2, 3 here, and because I'm going to have the 7, again, that 8th one is coming, so when that comes, I will have the other one set up. But you know what, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and put that other wire in and just have it hooked up, because when the time comes and I want to have this all hooked up, I am not going to want to try to fit my fat little fingers back inside of this thing and try to get that other wire hooked in. So I'm just going to do it now. You can see this bundle that I have, y'all. I have bought several hundred, several more wires that I may need if anything was to burn out or there were any problems. Any of the splitters or pretty much anything that I'm using, I have bought plenty of backups for wires. I've got a bin here that's just full of splitters and anything I might need. That's really it. So I've got 4, and I've got 4. Now here's the other thought, because the board is plugged onto this one, that's going to be using power along with the 4 GPUs. So if I have 4 GPUs and 4 GPUs for my 8, this one is going to be pulling more power from it. So I'll be honest, just because it's not really probably necessary, the amount of power these little tiny things pull, but just to put a little less stress on this one, I'm going to put these over here, and you're all probably laughing at me, so it's okay. It's okay. I appreciate you watching. I really do. Make comments below. Should have did a live stream with this one, and you guys could have really made fun of me. Not that anybody even watches my live streams. I tried one before. It didn't work out so well. Because I didn't tell anybody I was doing it, and the live stream didn't work as well as I wanted. So anyway, we're going to put 4 and 4 on here, so I'm going to go ahead and drop this one on here, and I'll put that one right there. And then that way when the time comes, I could go ahead and just fire that thing right up. I'll probably put a splitter on there too, but at least the wire's on there. Getting my hands down into here when it's in the grow tent is a little bit of a pain in the butt. All right, so let's go over this again. Power supply, breakout boards. I've got 4 GPUs here, all ready to go. I've got the 2 risers here, ready to go. They're powered. I've got the connection between them both. I've got the ATX here. I've got the secondary here. I've got 4 more wires over here, ready to go. It looks like everything is set. I'm going to spin this around, and we're going to check the wires one more time. So I'm going to pause this while I spin this whole thing around, so I'll be right back. All right, so we're spun around, and I'm just going to recheck everything one more time. So just bear with me. I'm just going to take a look and just check out everything that I can. It's in. It's in. All of those are still in from before. These are screwed down fine. Everything looks good. Everything looks solid. The connections look great. Y'all, I think we're going to be hooking up some GPUs, and we are getting really close to making this happen. Yeah, I am going to find out about that one right there. It's a 4-pin, and I wonder. All right, I'm gonna look into that if I need that extra power to make sure everything is powered up fully. But it didn't say anything about that before when I was reading about this board, that you just needed the secondary power supply along with the ATX and you should be in good shape. So I am going to double check on that 4-pin, but otherwise I've got everything hooked up, the 2 HP 1200 watt power supplies. Everything looks really good. So I'm going to go ahead and start bringing over some GPUs. We're going to start hooking some of these up. So let's get contestant number 1. All right, so I'm going to be hooking these up. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to get my brain. Let me go ahead and hook this thing back up over top like that. So that's the GPU sit on. Like I said, I took it off earlier just because it's easier to work inside of here. Otherwise, you're constantly fighting it, and it's just a pain. So I hope you've been able to see everything that I've been doing, and this hasn't been too much of a pain for you. But doing my best, y'all. I hope that my video skills have gotten better over time and you've been able to see more. I did get this new camera so I could do these types of videos, and I don't know. I think I say too much. I think I'm always looking to fill space and not talk. There it is again. And I say that a lot, and I shouldn't. I should try to cut back on that, because again, I just sort of tighten it down till the Phillips head just kind of spins a little bit on top. I don't drive it down in there. It's in there snug. I don't think that I need to, like I said, go really hard on that. So I took these apart when I was putting them down because I didn't want to put added pressure on these when they were just sitting on their side to have extra pressure. Let me turn that around so you can see what I'm talking about. You see, that won't sit flat if it's sitting down because the board is here. So that much is left. So if I leaned it on here, leaning, I don't know, it just adds extra pressure onto it, and I didn't think I needed to do that, so I just popped these off real quick. No big deal, I hope. So I'll put that one over here. You guys should do a video, or not a video. You should do a video. You should comment below on how many times I say in a video. And if anybody guesses it, maybe we'll have a contest for, like, I don't know, like 100,000 Sheeb coins. So you can laugh at me and I could laugh at you for owning Sheeb. And then we can laugh at each other. We could do a live stream where we laugh just at each other the entire time. That'd be kind of fun. Or maybe not, I don't know. I see other people doing those giveaways and stuff, so I'm gonna do a giveaway with Sheeb coin because I'm so damn cheap. People give away Ethereum and, you know, a whole bunch of this and a whole bunch of that. I'm giving you Sheeb. So someday you and I can go buy our Lambos. Oh, did I put that in wrong? I think I put these both in wrong. I think this one goes there and that one moves over one. This one I got in straight, so let's go ahead and just lock this one down. There we go. All right. Contestant number 4, come on down. In you go. Lock that in. Put this one right here. You know what else I don't miss with the ATX power supply? Have you ever dropped one of these little screws and it went down because the power supply is like this and the fan's on top and it drops down inside, and you have to either try to turn the rig and try to shake it out, but you really can't because you got to turn the whole thing upside down, so you got to unhook it all and then unscrew it from the frame, and then you got to shake it and hopefully find it and get it out. And then you can't find it, so then you're freaking out because it's going to be trapped in there, and it's going to screw up your whole mining operation when it short circuits and blows out all your cards. So you freak out. You know what I'm talking about. You know you've done it. Well, with these HP power supplies, you don't have to worry about that. So if you're a klutz like me, then you'll love these power supplies. Man, does that look nice? Whew. Gosh, I just can't tell you how excited I am to have this all built up and to be doing this upgrade, because this has been a dream of mine since I started mining. You know, you see all the big miners, they've got their GPUs, you know, all lined up, all fancy, all the same ones. Me, you should see my other rig, the 4 GPU plus the other 2 that I have here. I've got 2 that are the same, but the other 4 are all different ones. And it looks like somebody went junk picking and just slapped a bunch of stuff together. And yeah, that's that. So, all right, y'all, that's 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause this. I'm going to go shut down that other one and pull that other 3060 Ti out of that other rig, and we're going to bring it over here and hook it up. And man, oh man, Shevitz, will we be getting there? So I'll be right back. All right, so I've got that other card, and when I pause the video, I actually ran downstairs to grab a drink, and when I was down there, we got a little package in the mail. So I took one out so I could show it to you, and there it is. So it is the USB connection for the M.2. So we're going to try that one as well, and we will try that in the other rig once I put that one together. For now, we've already got this one already built in, so we're just going to keep moving forward with this, and we will try that one out next. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and put that right there. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 8. That's what we're waiting on. Number 8's coming, and that's why we're doing this, because I knew when I had that one, and I've got another of the 3060s coming. I'm going to fill up that board over there. I'm going to have extra, and I figure, you know what, if I'm going to pull the trigger, it's now or never. That's why I got these new motherboards, CPU, RAM, and I am really excited now, y'all. If I haven't said that 30 or 40 times so far, but I really am excited to have this set up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin this around again real quick, and we're going to start hooking up power on the back end. Sorry, I think I just gave you an elbow. One to the chin there. Watch out. Coming through. Guys, give me some comments below. Tell me what you think about all this stuff. You know, am I really overkill? Am I spending more money than I need to spend? Probably. Do I need to do all this? Probably not. Kitty, not today. Momo was coming over to say hello, and today's not the day. Sorry, Mo. Got too many wires and a little of everything going on here. So let's just make sure these breakout boards are connected, real nice and snug. That's another real big one. Making sure those breakout boards are connected, because it's a slot like that. The board is like this, the breakout board, and on the back of the power supply, it's got a piece that sticks out, and it goes right into that slot, you know. And if it's, you know, not all the way in, you know, again, the electric can arc between it, and if it keeps doing that over and over again, you're going to blow it out. You're going to have a problem. I mean, let's just, you know, electric is not a fun thing to mess around with as far as you know, testing and hoping for things. So just want to make sure that's in there real nice. So all right, so here we go. So we are going to be putting 4 on this side, and we'll put 3 on this board for now, and then when the 4th one comes, we'll move that over. So I think we'll just start on this side because we're here. And so let's just get these in. Okay, 1, 2, go. All right. So I'll leave that one open for the last card when it comes. I'm going to assume that these wires, I'll have these probably zip tied down here, so I'll leave those back over on that side. As a matter of fact, I'll tuck them around here for now. I'm going to have to look inside there. I don't want them getting near the fan either. Cause problems with that. And the last one here. So everybody's hooked up. Everybody's hooked up. I've got the last one right here. That we'll just kind of wrap that around here for now. It looks like we're good. It looks like we are set. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to put it back in the grow tent, and we're going to fire this up. We're going to see where we end up. See if this thing starts to post up. I do know that I'm going to need to go ahead and get into the BIOS and change a couple settings on that. So I will let you know which ones I did, and I'll be back in a minute. So I'm going to pause the video again, and I'm going to hop over there and put this back inside the grow tent, like I said, and then bring it up on the monitor over there. So I'll be back in a minute once this is posting up. Hey guys, so I was so super excited to get this thing fired up that I forgot to hook the USB to the back of the risers and then to the motherboard. Now, just to clarify, when I looked this board up, I wasn't paying attention, but it only has 5 slots on the board itself, but there's 3 of the M.2 connections. So I do have all 3 of them hooked up. 2 of them are going to be with the riser connection looking, so you can plug that in, and the other one's going to be the USB. So I do have all 3 of those hooked up here, and I do have 1 slot left open, and that's the one that's on the board, and that way we can test all of these right now and see how they work. So I've got them all hooked in, everything looks solid. I've got the one back here that's on the USB. Like I said, I just got those in the mail, so that's the one with the USB on it. So I'm really kind of hoping that that works out, and that works out pretty well. So everything is hooked up. All right, so now for real, I'm going to go ahead and hop this thing over onto the into the grow tent, and we're going to fire it up and see what we got. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back, and I've had it running for a couple hours now. I wanted to make sure everything was stable and working well. Now, I will say one thing, and this is another blunder, that a mistake that I've made. And if you're familiar with my channel, it was built and started on my mistakes so that you can learn from them. I do a lot of things for the first time right on camera, so you can see the mistakes I made, so you'll know better what not to do. And this is one of them. So I'm looking in the book, and one of my M.2 slots is not working. It's the first one right next to the CPU. When I looked in the book, it said that if you want the other 2 to work, a 10th generation processor will work, and that will enable them. If you want that 3rd one to work, the one that's right near the CPU, you need 11th generation. So I've emailed the store that I bought these from, and I'm waiting to hear back if they're 11th generation or 10th generation. Hopefully they're 11th, and it's just a BIOS setting that I have to change. And I will be really excited. If it's not, I will return this one because it's unopened, and the second one I will probably sell it for used, or maybe I'll do it as a giveaway when maybe we hit 200 subscribers or something like that. I'll do a giveaway, and somebody will end up with that. It's only been used for a couple hours, so it's practically new, but unfortunately it is used, so if I sell it, I will have to list it as used, even if it is only for a couple hours. So super disappointed that I made that mistake, but again, these are mistakes that you will learn from my mistakes, and you won't make those same mistakes, and hopefully it saves you a little money down the road. So real quick, I'll hop over here and I'll show you on the board itself. I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I do have all 7 running, and that's with the M.2 adapters. They're both plugged in. I did swap them. I did try them each on different ones and move them around, and they work identical. There is no difference that I could tell. The only difference is that one has secondary power and one doesn't. So for less wires, I guess I would go with this, but probably for more stability, the one with the power on it probably runs a little bit better. I'm going to do some more research on them to find out more, but both of them for me right now are running, and they're both getting the same hash rate. And even if I took those GPUs and I swapped them, they're both still, the GPUs still record back at the same exact rates. So, you know, we're talking fractions different, but practically identical. So they do work, and they do work well. I can only imagine with the powered one, it may be, like I said, more stable, but it does work. So for now, everything looks great. Everything is running real smooth. I do have that 8th card coming, and when it does come, if I haven't gotten the new CPU, and if that was the problem, or if I haven't gotten the BIOS setting figured out, I am going to have to use one of those splitters in order to get that to work, and I really don't want to. I really want to get this running. So I'll probably be able to return this one because it's unopened. This one, even though I've only used it for a couple hours, it is not new and it is used. So if I try to sell it, unfortunately, I'll have to sell it as used, and hopefully I can get 80 bucks back for it, because they were about 106 or 100 and I think they were 106 bucks. So hopefully I can get 80 bucks back on it used, and I'll get real close to where I started off, and it won't be such a hit in my wallet. Hopefully you've learned from this and it won't be a hit on your wallet. But if you do go with these parts, make sure you get 11th generation if you want that third M.2 slot to work, so you have 8 slots on your board. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. I'd love to see more comments down below on this video. I'd love to hear that, you did a good job, E, and give me a little love because of the mistake I made. And I'm putting myself in the line of fire for you, and hopefully you're not making these mistakes like I'm making. But lots of thumbs up. I'm trying to build the channel, and of course, if you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're waiting for, right? Get all this exciting content, me talking about McRibs. Anyway, y'all, I appreciate you checking in, and I will put in the description below when I figure this out. I will put an update in there and let you know whether it was a BIOS setting or it was the chip. So give me another day or two before you rush out and buy any of these parts. Let me verify that and the settings, and if it was a BIOS setting, then I will do a video on all the BIOS settings I did for this board, so you'll be able to see which ones I've enabled or disabled and know how to get all of those slots working. So again, a lot of those, comments, subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time. Thanks.